Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cougar Sports Network for one last game day right here in River Forest, and no better day than today. It's a senior day celebration between the visiting Dominican University Stars and your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Getting ready to kick things off here in River Forest, we've got Eden Pufall dishing on the mound for CUC, and like I mentioned, a big-time senior day celebration for 3 seniors specifically inside Concordia softball field. One of those seniors behind home plate here in Jess Gang. The other 2 seniors making appearances in the outfield in Ashley Schroll and Callie Tierney. As CUC gets ready to get going here, the Stars leading things off. And leading things off for the Stars is going to be Priscilla Rudder. CUC coming in to today, coming off of clinching the NAC Conference tournament for the first time since 2018 in their last home games against Wisconsin Lutheran last week. First pitch delivered by Pufall in there for a strike. First pitch delivered at 10:56 a.m. right here in River Forest. It's a nice early game day. Taking a look at that infield for the Cougars. A familiar lineup. You've got Pufall inside the circle, Jess Gang behind the plate, going right to left across the infield as Emily Garcia gloves that one over for out number 1. You've got Maya Lorenas over at first, Emily Garcia at second, Arissa Santos at short, Alyssa Campos over at third. In the outfield going left to right, you got Lindley Southern, McKyler Morris, and Ashley Schroll. And quickly, the Cougars have 1 out on the board. Liliana Santoyo now at the plate for Dominican. She's batting .415 on the season, an impressive season for the senior. As that ball misses upstairs for ball number 1. Wind blowing a bit of a factor here in River Forest as that ball is lined right into the glove of Arissa Santos. CUC wasting absolutely no time collecting 2 outs here in the top of the first. As I mentioned, the Cougars clinching their spot in the NAC tournament, currently sitting in 3rd place, trailing behind Dominican and Concordia, Wisconsin, the 2 teams that the Cougars have left to face this season. Today's home finale here against Dominican. We've got 2 games on the dock for you. And then the Cougars will be back in action on the road tomorrow as they travel up north to take on Concordia, Wisconsin. But CUC already clinching their spot. The 8 teams in the NAC tournament are already secured, just down to a matter of seeding. So not that it's going to impact whether they make the tournament or not, what the results of these next 4 games for the Cougars are, but it is going to impact their schedule and their seeding. And Cougars looking to stay in that upper half of the conference standings heading into the NAC tournament. This year's NAC tournament will be hosted by Aurora University over at their home field in Montgomery, Illinois, but that's going to be a base hit all the way to the wall from Reagan Davis, and she's going to be sliding in at second. And with 2 outs on the board, the Stars have a base runner on for Isabella Olmos. 2 outs on the board. Eden Pufall doing her job inside the circle here. Taking a look at Pufall for the Cougars. She's been a reliable arm this season for them. She's got a .341 ERA. She's making her 16th appearance this season for the Cougars, her 4th start of the year. She's got 37 total innings pitched, 12 strikeouts on the year. She's held her opponents to a .291 batting average against her. As that's going to be a slow roller right into the glove of Pufall for out number 3. So giving up 1 hit in the inning, but the Cougars quickly control the damage and head to the bottom of the first, holding the Stars scoreless. A great top of the inning for CUC that's going to hand things over to the Cougar hitters, who arguably have been the strong point of the season this year. An impressive batting lineup coming in for CUC. Taking a look at that lineup here for the Cougars. Leading things off is going to be Emily Garcia batting second, Maya Lorenas batting third, Jess Gang batting fourth, McKyler Morris batting fifth, Arissa Santos batting sixth, Alyssa Campos batting seventh, Callie Tierney batting eighth, Lindley Southern, And batting ninth is going to be Ashley Schroll. So the Cougars have a pretty stacked lineup here. Meanwhile, the Stars, first time today heading out into the field and taking a look at their field alignment here. Getting the start inside the circle is senior pitcher number 2, Emma Woodhouse, senior out of Sacramento, California. Taking a look at Woodhouse's stats for the year. She's a key arm for this Stars squad. She's pitching a 1.64 ERA, the second lowest on the team. She's making her 26th appearance in the circle for the Stars, her 21st start. She's really been an ace for this Dominican team this season. She's got 127 and 2/3 innings pitched. She's collected 100 strikeouts on the season, and she's held her opponents to a 214 batting average. So a huge arm here for Dominican, looking to control the Cougars early on their home field. Emily Garcia leading things off for the Cougars, looking to capitalize on that. But taking a look at this this entire fielding lineup for the Stars, like I mentioned, you've got Woodhouse inside the circle, and behind home plate, you've got Randall going right to left on the infield. You've got Rudder at first, almost at second, Santoyo at short, and number 48, Riley Davis, over at third. Riley Davis, one of the 2 Davises on this lineup, so important to note there. But going into the outfield, going left to right, you've got Vogel in left, Cornell in center, and Salfi over in right, as Garcia sits with the 1-1 count here. Taking a look at this NAC tournament schedule, like I mentioned, hosted by Aurora, so a close matchup here for both Dominican and Concordia. Being able to sleep in their own beds for the tournament is always a nice situation, but tournament play starts on Thursday, May 8th, this upcoming Thursday. Day 1 is going to be a single elimination day, as that's going to be a chopper over, but successfully able to glove it and get the out is almost, and that's going to put 1 out on the board, and Maya Lorenas at the plate. Thursday is going to be a single elimination day, trying to narrow the tournament back down to 6 teams. Initially, this NAC tournament has consistently been a 6-team tournament, just recently expanding to be an 8-team tournament with a full day of single elimination games to narrow things back down a little bit. But Friday, May 9th becomes the double elimination day. So if the Cougars are able to sneak their way into that 1 or 2 seed, they'll see a bye on day 1, They won't have to play till Friday. If they stay where they're at in the number 3 seed, they'll be able to play the 6:30 p.m. game on Thursday, the last game of that single elimination day, and they'll play a team that would have already had to play a game prior to seeing them. So staying in that top 4 is preferable for the Cougars, because then they're avoiding multiple games on day 1. They sneak their way into the top 2. They're going to be looking at not having to play till Friday, which is always favorable. So CUC making a return to the NAC tournament. Meanwhile, looking at Dominican, as I said previously, they're currently sitting at first in the NAC. They've got a little bit of an edge over Concordia, Wisconsin. So they're in a favorable spot, and we've seen this Dominican team be a great team for years. And they're showing that exactly again this season. On the year, Dominican softball sitting with a 30-8 overall record, 19-3 in the NAC. So genuinely just showing some dominance here across their season. And Woodhouse showing that inside the circle here as Lorenas takes a step back. She's sitting with the 2-2 counts. Last year, Dominican actually securing the NAC Conference Tournament title, making their way into the NCAA tournament, as Lorenas is going to send that one to the right side of the field once again. And 2 outs on the board brings Jess Gang up to the plate. Gang, one of those 3 seniors here today, being recognized for her 4 years of hard work and dedication. Jess Gang, a senior out of Phoenix, Arizona. We've seen her play around the field throughout her career, this season and last season, seeing most of her time behind home plate, getting some time in the outfield. Early in her career, she was playing over at third base for the Cougars, so Gang really been a staple for this CUC team for the last 4 years and is going to be incredibly missed when she moves on from the Cougars, but CUC looking to make that as far away as possible, trying to work their way through the NAC tournament here next week, but Gang now sitting with the 0-2 count here. Woodhouse trying to get the Stars out of the inning, not giving up anything. She delivers this one. That's going to be fouled off from Gang off of the netting behind home plate. A nice and sunny day here in River Forest. Wind blowing out a little bit, so we could see that in the favor of both teams. But overall, probably one of the nicest days we've had at Concordia softball field all season. 52 degrees with a slight breeze here. Gang fouling that last one off, keeping her at bat alive, almost hitting assistant coach Dave Galicko in the process, but Coach G able to get out of the way. This one is going to be dropped into shallow left field. Gang safely making her way onto base. So the Cougars put up their first hit of the day with 2 outs as well, and that's going to bring Mykyler Morris to the plate here for the Cougars. Looking to get a little bit of a 2-out rally going here. Morris, a sophomore on the CUC team. She's batting .389 on the year. She's got 24 RBIs, 2 total home runs. As that one's going to be sent foul along the first base line. Wind picking up a little bit. As this one is fouled off straight back once again. Oh, 2 count for Morris. This one misses upstairs for ball 1. A quiet day here on campus. Graduation day was yesterday, so the majority of students moving out and leaving just the athletic teams that are still in play residing on campus. Is that one fouled off once again. Gang was taken off for the stolen base, but sent back to first after that foul ball. Cougar baseball was in action yesterday on graduation day where they split with the Falcons of Concordia, Wisconsin. Meanwhile, track and field currently at the NAC championships as Morris is going to ground out straight back to Woodhouse, and that's going to do it for the complete first inning. So after one full inning here in River Forest, we're going to stay scoreless. Poofall coming back out to dish for CUC, but we're going to take a quick break right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Eden Poofall still in the circle for the Cougars. At the plate for the Stars, Riley Davis. Davis batting .337 here on the season. She's going to let that one go by for ball number 1. Davis swinging through that one for strike number 1. Riley Davis, a junior from Gilbert, Arizona. Got to be happy for a little bit of warmth here in River Forest compared to the chilly wind that we've had the majority of the season. As umpire taking a quick second to make sure that the outfield fence gets shut all the way. Lindley Southern making a little run over in left field to do that. 1-1 count here for Davis. Poofall's getting her sign. This one connected on. That's going to be trouble. It's going to get down in right center all the way to the fence. Davis rounding. She's heading to second. It's going to be close. The throw pops out of Santos's glove. She goes to make the tag before she had the ball, so unable to get that, but that's going to be extra bases for Davis, and the Stars quickly put one runner on, and that's going to bring up number 14, Peyton Salfi. Salfi Jr. from Santa Rosa, California. Looks like we might be seeing a pinch runner here early on in the game. Potentially, yes, we will be seeing a pinch runner here. Number 9, Charlize Gonzalez is coming out to run for Davis over at second. Salfi batting .337 on the season. She shows bunt, pulls back. Gang very cognizant of Gonzalez over at second now. As I mentioned, graduation weekend here in River Forest, meaning that our 3 seniors for CUC all graduated yesterday. As the bunt laid down is going to get the out at first, but the sack bunt is going to be good nonetheless. It's going to move Gonzalez over to third. And that's going to put a runner on third base with only 1 out on the board. A little bit of trouble for the Cougars. And now coming up to bat, Kaylee Diaz-Randall. She takes the first pitch right down the middle for strike number 1. Looking at the 3 CUC seniors graduating. Ashley Schroll graduating with a degree in Business Intelligence and Analytics. Jess Gang graduating with a degree in Management. As that one catches upstairs, but catches that zone for strike number 2. Full count here for Randall. This one's going to be hit over to short. Santos able to glove it, get the throw, but that is going to allow the run to score, and the Stars are able to strike first. So 2 outs officially on the board, but Dominican striking first. This one fouled off here from Sarah Cornell. Oh, 1 count here. This one swung on. That's going to be lifted into center field. McKyler Moore is able to come up and underneath it. And that's going to get the Cougars out of the inning. But the Stars are able to strike first. And CUC heads to the bottom half of the inning, trailing for the first time today. As coming up for the Cougars, due up is going to be Santos, Campos, and Tierney. So we'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the second, Arissa Santos leading things off for the Cougars. Santos been an incredible addition to the CUC squad. She's entering into, or rounding out her junior season, as we near the end of the season. Still feels early on here, despite being the last home game for the Cougars. But Santos been a fantastic piece of this CUC squad since her freshman campaign. And coming into this game here today, she's batting .264 on the season. She's got 29 hits, responsible for 19 RBIs, and a slugging percentage of .427. She now sits with the 1-1 count. This one misses, makes this a 3-1 count in favor of Santos. This one misses. That's going to be a free base for Arissa Santos. So the Cougars put a base runner on here nice and early, no outs on the board. And Alyssa Campos now at the plate for CUC. Campos in her first season with the Cougars, she's batting .258 on the year. She's got 17 total hits, 15 RBIs. She shows bunt. It's going to be a thrown out at first, but it is going to do its job and move Arissa Santos over. So a great bunt from Alyssa Campos puts 1 out on the board, and Callie Tierney now at the plate for the Cougars. Callie Tierney now batting for CUC. She's swinging .405 on the season. She's got 17 hits and 6 RBIs. She's slugging .571. She's going to swing through the first pitch she sees for strike number 1. Tierney, again, one of the 3 seniors celebrated here today, graduating yesterday with a degree in health science and making her final appearance on her home field in today's doubleheader. This one misses up, makes it a 1-2 count. Tierney swinging through that one for strike number 3. That's going to put 2 outs on the board, and Lindley Southern now at the plate. Southern, a sophomore here at CUC, but her first season with the Cougars. She's batting .258 on the year. She's responsible for 8 hits and 5 RBIs. As she lets that one go by for ball number 1. This bunt, a well-placed bunt, but it is going to be called foul. Head coach of the Cougars, Sarah O'Malley-Fisher, coming out to confirm with the umpire why that was called foul, I believe. So the 1-1 count fouled off makes this a 1-2 count for Southern. As that one misses, keeping this at bat alive for Southern. Nice one. A slow roller over. Can she beat the throw? She does, and that's going to allow Arissa Santos to score, and the Cougars tie things up with an infield single from Lindley Southern. And a new ball game here in River Forest.
Number 26, Ash
Schroll now at the plate for the Cougars. The Stars a little bit frazzled. They're coming together in the infield. So 1 runner on base, 2 outs, and Ashley Schroll at the plate. She lets that one go by for ball number 1. Southern takes off to attempts the stolen base, but the throw with plenty of time. A well-placed throw from Randall is going to close the inning out. Ashley Schroll still have her at bat alive, but we head to the top of the 3rd, all tied up. Cougars able to tack on 1 run to combat the Stars. We head to the top of the 3rd right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, leading things off is Hannah Vogel for the Stars. She's going to let that one go by for strike number 1. This one fouled off out of play along the first base line. Pufall delivers this one. That's going to be swung on. Pufall able to knock it down. The throw is not going to be in time. That was an incredibly hard hit ball that Pufall was able to knock down a little bit, but just could not quite hold on to it entirely. So that is going to be an infield single there for Vogel, and that's going to bring number 13, Priscilla Rudder, up to the plate here for the Stars. No outs on the board. Runner over on first now, as that ball misses low for ball 1. Bunt goes foul, as Vogel was taken off for second immediately, sending her back to first base. The attempt at the sacrifice bunt here, just bouncing off the plate and heading straight backwards. Coach O'Malley Fisher once again coming out and having a quick discussion with the home plate umpire. Taking a look at our umpires here today. As that ball is going to be, the bunt is going to be missed, but it is still going to allow the stolen base there for Vogel. But as I was mentioning, the umpires here today behind home plate for game number 1, Robert Williams. Out in the field, Simon Steiner. Coach O'Malley Fisher already having a couple discussions with our officiating crew here today, but that's going to be swung on, sent foul, keep this as a 1-2 count. One, two, misses in the dirt, makes it 2-2. Jess Gang able to scoop it up from behind home plate and hold that base runner where she is. Still the 2-2 count here. As this one is swung on, lifted into left field. Southern up and underneath it for the out, and that's going to hold Vogel where she is on second. So 1 out now on the board for the Cougars, and that's going to bring Liliana Santoyo now to the plate. She's 0 for 1 here in game number 1. Lined out to Arissa Santos at shortstop in her first at-bat. The bunt laid down. Lorena's able to scoop it. The throw is over in time at first, but that is going to allow Vogel to make her way to third. So now, with 2 outs on the board, the Stars have another runner planted over on third. And that's going to bring Reagan Davis now to the plate here. Hoping to make this a Dominican lead with a runner over on third. She's 1 for 1 here on the day. She picked up a double to left field in her first at-bat. As that first pitch in there for strike number 1. This one missing low makes this a 1-1 count. This one missing once again makes it 2-1. Poofall getting her sign here. Sends this one in. That's going to be fouled off, bouncing off of Jess Gang. Keeps this at a 2-2 count here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of the third. Dominican trying to jump back ahead here. They've got a base runner over on third. As this is going to be chopped up the middle, getting just past the glove of Poofall and getting past Santos. That's going to put the Stars back ahead here as a single on the docket here, and Jess Gang coming in to have a quick discussion with her infield. Stars really looking to capitalize here. 2 outs on the board, but now they are once again ahead 2-1. So 2 outs here, runner now over on first. Isabella almost now at the plate here, trying to keep this 2-out rally alive, and she's going to wear that pitch and take her free base. So now 2 runners on here for the Stars. Riley Davis coming to the plate. And pitching coach for the Cougars, Sydney Palaskis-Lawher, coming out to have a discussion with her pitcher. And Coach Sarah O'Malley-Fisher having a discussion with the infield over near first base. So just trying to resettle things here a little bit. This game has been fairly controlled, and nobody really has too much momentum one way or another. The Stars starting to break things open a little bit, just getting a 2-out rally kind of going, able to jump back ahead at 2-1. And now they've got 2 base runners on, but the Cougars, sitting with 2 outs, are in a really easy spot for them, continuing to do what they've done best, and Poofall staying inside the circle to fight her way out of this inning. As that one is in there for strike number 1. Palaskis-Lawher doing her job as a pitching coach and firing Poofall up, delivering strike number 1 right out of the gate. That one missing. Gang looking to throw down, can't quite get there. This one catches in there, strike number 2. Poofall 1 strike away from getting the Cougars out of this inning and limiting the damage the Stars have done. Stars trying to capitalize here. This ball's going to be put into play. Garcia gloves it, gets the throw at first, and gets the Cougars out of the inning. So the Stars able to tack 1 run on, but CUC able to close things out and stranding those base runners. We're going to head to the bottom of the third. Dominican leads 2-1 right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Ash Schroll back at the plate for the Cougars after having her at-bat interrupted by Lindley Southern being caught stealing. She's going to take a look here at strike number 1. Still dishing inside the circle for the Stars is Woodhouse. Woodhouse up to 35 pitches on the day. Schroll's going to send a bouncer over to third, and Davis able to glove it cleanly for out number 1. That's going to put the top of the order in for CUC. Emily Garcia back at the plate. She's 0 for 1 here in game number 1. She had a slow roller over to second base in her first at-bat, looking to get her first hit of the day. First pitch up and in for ball 1. As I said, a little bit of a quieter campus environment here at Concordia University. Chicago graduation day was yesterday, so people moving out as that's going to be lined right back to Woodhouse for out number 2. With the decrease in students comes an increase in families and parents making their way into the stands here. Lots of out-of-town families coming in for these seniors and other various members of the team. All 3 seniors on this CUC team are from out of state, all from out west actually, with Ashley Schroll being the lone one from a little bit south, as Callie Tierney from Corona, California, Jess Gang from Phoenix, Arizona, and Ashley Schroll from Tampa, Florida. So nationwide Cougars, and all have family in attendance here today. So great to see everybody able to make it out for a senior day doubleheader here in River Forest, as well as some beautiful weather. But now at the plate for the Cougars is Maya Lorenas. She's going to drop that one into shallow infield, and quickly able to glove it and secure the out is almost. So a quick 3-up, 3-down inning for the Cougars. That's going to put Eden Pufall back inside the circle for CUC. She's going to keep doing her job as the Stars try to capitalize on this 2-1 lead that they have. We're going to be right back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 4th, Dominican leading Concordia Chicago 2-1. But leading things off here is Peyton Salfi, and she lets that one go by for ball number 1. Pufall still inside the circle for the Cougars. She's trying to get out of this inning, giving the Stars their first scoreless inning since the first. But Salfi now sitting with the 2-0 count. This one misses inside, quickly makes this a 3-0 count. As this pitch in there for strike number 1. Pufall slowly starting to work her way out of this. 3-1 count here. Pufall delivers. That's going to be put into play. Santos takes that grounder over. She makes the throw in time for out number 1. And 1 out on the board. That's going to bring Callie Diaz-Randall now up to the plate. She's 0 for 1 here in game number 1. Grounded out to the shortstop in her first at-bat, but helped provide one of the 2 runs here for the Stars. She's going to let that one go for strike number 1. Pufall sends this one in. That's going to be sent right up the middle. The diving attempt from Santos, no good. That's going to be a single up the middle for Randall. And that's going to bring Sarah Cornell now to the plate. Cornell, center fielder here in game number 1, freshman from Upland, California. She's 0 for 1 here on the day so far. She flew out to center field in her first at-bat. She swings the first pitch. She sees the jumping attempt from Garcia, no good. It's going to get all the way to the wall. The throw is not going to be able to prevent Randall from taking an extra base, but it is going to hold Cornell at first. And looks like we are going to see a pitching change here for the Cougars. Potentially some other defensive changes as well in the mix of it. So with that, while things get resituated and resettled here, we're going to take a quick break on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, some changes in the field for you. Now pitching for the Cougars, Alyssa Campos. Initially, Campos was playing over at third. Now she's making her way inside the circle, which leaves room for number 10, Jolene Anderson, to come in at third base. And that first pitch is going to be swung on. The throw is not going to be in time to catch Randall. So the Stars are going to go up another run here. As Morris was able to glove it, the throw was just a bit too far off of the line. But that is going to bring up Priscilla Rudder now to the plate for the Stars. 2 outs on the board. Dominican officially ahead 3-1. Taking a look at that final stat line for Eden Pufall. She pitched 3 1/3 innings for the Cougars, gave up 6 hits, As the stolen base attempt there is going to be good for Cornell. But Pufall gave up 3 runs, no strikeouts, 17 batters faced on the day, and 49 total pitches thrown. Alyssa Campos coming in here today, trying to help ward off what the Stars are building on. Taking a look at Campos this season for the Cougars. As I said earlier, her first season with CUC. She's a freshman out of Eastvale, California. And coming into this game, pitching a 5.10 ERA, as that ball is going to be thrown out at first. So Alyssa Campos getting the Cougars out of the inning. But the Stars are able to strike once again. They're going to put 1 run up in the inning. Their 3rd consecutive inning of putting a run on the board. And that's going to leave the Cougars trailing 3-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Jess Gang leading things off for the Cougars. Jess coming in, the Cougars trailing by 2 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Woodhouse still dishing inside the circle for the Stars, but a bit of a defensive change for the Stars. Now playing over at first base is number 4, Jillian Zubernat, coming in replacement of Rudder. So Gang fouling that one off. She sits with the 0-1 count. This one misses upstairs, makes this a 1-1 count. This one misses that outside corner. 2-1 count here in favor of Gang. Jess Gang 1 for 1 at the plate here today. She picked up a single in her first at-bat. As this ball's lifted high into shallow left field, but up and underneath it is Vogel for out number 1. And that's going to bring Mykyler Morris now to the plate for the Cougars. Morris 0 for 1 at the plate here in game number 1. She's going to send this one right up the middle, making its way into the outfield, but that's going to be a base hit for Morris. Handing things over to Arissa Santos now coming up to hit.
Number 15, Arissa Santos.
Santos walked in her first and only appearance here today. She's looking for her first hit, but she's batting .264 on the season. As this first pitch misses upstairs for ball number 1. This one catches that outside corner for strike 1, makes this a 1-1 count. CUC and Dominican, a very heated Division Street rivalry. For those unfamiliar with the regional situation here, Dominican's campus is a few blocks down a Division Street right here next to Concordia, Chicago. So a long-standing rivalry between the two schools just for their close proximity. Years ago, there was a River Forest Rivalry Cup that was passed between the two teams, between the two schools, excuse me. It was a school-wide competition measuring the success of both schools and all of their teams' competitions, but the River Forest Rivalry Cup has since been retired, I believe, since COVID. Now the rivalry just stays apparent as Santos is going to send that one into right field. And an overthrown ball right towards third base is going to be too risky for Morris to try to take the extra base on, so she's going to hold at second. Santos with a base hit. That's going to put runners on first and second. And Alyssa Campos now at the plate for the Cougars. First pitch to Campos delivered upstairs for ball number 1. Looking at the history of these two teams, Cougars chasing their first victory over the Stars since April 21st of 2022. Last time the Cougars have beat the Stars was then with a 9-1 score. And that was a home victory for the Cougars. So something that we could potentially see here again today, as it's been a close matchup. Stars able to put one run up in the second, third, and fourth innings to give them the 3-1 lead. But again, this is a deep-seated rivalry that historically has favored Dominican. Concordia only 12 wins against the Stars in recent history, and currently on a 4-game losing streak against Dominican, looking to break that open here today. But a quick visit here from head coach of the Stars, Christina Lucas, to resettle and readjust here for Dominican. And that's going to bring new life here for the Cougars. As Campos fouls this one off, makes this a 1-1 count. One out on the board here. Runners on first and second. This ball misses upstairs for ball 2. Two-one count for Campos. Woodhouse delivers. That's going to be swung on and lifted deep into right center. Trouble, that's down at the wall. Running into center field fence was Sarah Cornell. A hard hit run, but that's going to allow Morris to score, Santos to move to third, and a double for Alyssa Campos. Cornell up and walking in center field. A great thing to see. She hit that wall hard. But that is going to allow the Cougars to score and make this a one-run game. Still only one out on the board. Runners now on second and third, and Callie Tierney at the plate for the Cougars.
Now batting for the Cougars, designated player number 2, Callie Tierney.
Tierney 0 for 1 at the plates here in game 1 so far. She struck out in her first at-bat. She's chasing her first hit. One 0 count for Tierney. Tierney shows bunt. That's going to roll foul. Tierney placing that bunt along the third base line, giving herself the best opportunity to get to first quickly. Tierney showing bunt once again. That's rolling foul straight back. Now sitting with the 1-2 count. This one misses up and away, levels the count at 2 apiece. This one swung on a miss, 2 consecutive strikeouts for Callie Tierney. And that's going to put 2 outs on the board. Lindley Southern now at the plate.
Lindley Southern.
Southern swings through the first pitch she sees, makes this an 0-1 count. Woodhouse doing everything she can to limit the Concordia damage here. Cougars bring themselves within 1 run. As Southern shows bunt, that's going to pop up and foul along the back netting. And quickly, Lindley Southern stuck with an 0-2 count. Woodhouse gets set here. She delivers this pitch upstairs for ball number 1. This one swung on, it's lifted foul into left field, but nobody able to track it down, so that is going to keep Lindley Southern alive here in this at-bat. Southern swinging on this one. She sends it foul out of play along the first base side now. Rolling into traffic. It's going to catch a car driving past. A red truck was the first damage done here in River Forest. For those unfamiliar on CUC's softball field, it's located right alongside the busy Division Street. So any foul balls at the softball field have the potential for hitting a car. And unfortunately, we've seen one here today. Any cars parked along Division Street are in what we call the danger zone here, as only one. We haven't seen many cars hit on Division Street this season. It's been a fairly mild season for the Concordia hitters as far as any car damage. But either way, first one here today, and that's going to leave the strikeout for Southern to close out the inning. But CUC able to steal a run back. They trail 3-2 as we head to the top of the 5th right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 5th, CUC trails 3-2, but at the plate for the Stars, number 7, Liliana Santoyo. And she's going to look at the 1-0 count to start her at bat here. Santoyo, she's 0 for 1 on the day so far. Alyssa Campos still dishing inside the circle for the Cougars, and that one's going to be in there for strike number 1. One and one count here. Turns to 2-1. It's a bright and beautiful sunny day here in River Forest. Not a rain cloud in sight. Despite what initially the radars were saying yesterday and what CUC student worker Eric Perry was recently discussing. No rain coming here in River Forest. 3-1 count for Santoyo. Ball number 4 results in a free base for Santoyo. And that's going to bring Reagan Davis now to the plate, freshman out of Gilbert, Arizona. Not only does today mark the final home game for CUC softball, but it marks the final home game for the Cougar Sports Network. All on-campus activities wrap up here after today's doubleheader, but CUC softball will continue to play over at Aurora for the NAC Conference Tournament. As this ball is going to be put into play, Anderson able to get one. Can they turn 2? No, the runner at first is going to be safe, but getting the lead runner in Santoyo to put out number 1 on the board. That's going to leave Davis safe over at first, and that's going to bring Isabella Olmos now to the plate. Almost 0 for 1 on the day so far. She was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat. A big jump there from Davis, but nobody covering the base to be able to get that throw. Gang looked like she wanted to send that ball down, but Lorena's jumping on the possibility of that bunt, and Garcia just not quite there with enough time. So that's going to bring an 0-2 count here against Olmos. 1 out on the board, runner over on first. That's going to be put into play. Santos, she's able to get 1. Can they turn 2? No, once again, the throw not quite in time. A great effort and stretch there from Maya Lorenas, first baseman for the Cougars. But CUC once again getting that lead base runner out, and that's going to put 2 outs on the board. Runner over on first. And at the plate here, Riley Davis, junior out of Gilbert, Arizona. She shows bunt, the throw. Not in time. Diving safely into the base was almost for a successful stolen base. Gang's throw right on the money. Almost just did a nice job of getting underneath that tag. 0-1 count here. That's going to be lifted deep into left field over Southern's head. It's going to bounce off of the fence. 1 run's going to score. And that's going to be an easy stand-up double for Riley Davis, and the Stars go up by 2 once again. Stars having a lot of success at the plate with 2 outs. 3 for 7 at the plate with 2 outs here today. That's going to bring Peyton Salfi now to the plate for Dominican. She's 0 for 1 here in game number 1. Salfi stepping out here, resetting. Campos delivers this one. That's going to miss low and out for ball one. This ball is going to be popped up and sent out of play over the bleachers here in River Forest. This ball lifted up and chopped straight back down by Salfi. Keeps this at the 1-2 count. Campos delivers this one. That's going to be grounded cleanly over to short, and Santos able to glove it and get the throw over in time. Out number 3 is going to get the Cougars out of the inning, but the Stars, for the 4th consecutive inning, able to pick up 1 run, and that's going to put them ahead 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 5th right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, leading things off for the Cougars is Ashley Schroll. Schroll, one of those 3 seniors being recognized after game number 2 here today for our Senior Day celebration. But before we can get to that, we've got to finish out these 2 games. Schroll 0 for 1 at the plate here in game number 1. She now sits with the 2-0 count. Another defensive change for the Stars out in right field. Replacing Peyton Salfi is going to be number 99, Kayla Amormino. And Schroll's going to let that one go by for her first strike in this at-bat. Schroll's going to send this one out to right field. The diving attempt, no good from Amormino. Schroll's going to round, but eventually hold at first. Didn't get much further out of reach. So a base hit for Schroll to lead things off, and that's going to turn it over to the top of the order. Emily Garcia now at the plate for the Cougars. She's chasing her first hit of the day. Garcia, a key component for this CUC team. Garcia, a sophomore from Eastvale, California. To start this season, battling through some injuries. We didn't see her early on. Then we saw her only as the DP, and now seeing her make her way back into the fielding lineup. And she's going to pop this one up and foul over to first base for out number 1. Zuber not able to glove that in foul territory and hands things over to Maya Lorenas here. Lorenas batting .340 on the year. She's got 33 total hits and 12 RBIs. At one point throughout the early goings of the season, the better first half of the season, actually, Lorenas was leading this CUC team. She's struggled a bit on the back half here, as that was a fantastic grab from Emma Woodhouse. Schroll jumped off the bag on it. It looked like it was going to be unreachable. It was a tough spot for Ashley Schroll to be in, because in that spot, the ball, if it gets down, that's an easy force at second for Schroll. And in that, if she's able to catch it, Schroll's already got that jump. So just an unfortunate situation there. Not much that Schroll could have done differently, but a great athletic grab from Woodhouse and getting the throw out to turn two. And that's going to hand things over to the top of the sixth. CUC still trailing 4-2 right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the sixth, Dominican leading 4-2. First pitch swung and lifted into left field. Lindley Southern able to collect it and retire Kaylee Diaz-Randall for out number one. That's going to bring Sarah Cornell now to the plate for the Stars. Alyssa Campos still dishing inside the circle for the Cougars. That ball's deep and lifted into center field, but backtracking at the wall is McKyler Morris for out number two. Two quick outs at the hands of Alyssa Campos and the Cougar outfielders. And head coach of the Cougars, Sarah O'Malley Fisher, coming out to make some changes. And we're going to see Callie Tierney enter the circle to pitch. Tierney, again, one of those seniors for CUC. She's going to replace Campos in the circle. Tierney, a senior out of Corona, California. Graduated yesterday. Coming into this game, Tierney sits with a 0 ERA. She's only made one appearance inside the circle this season. 1 1/3 innings pitched. She's given up 2 hits. She's still chasing her first strikeout of the season. But a great opportunity for a senior here in a really good spot. 2 outs, no runners on, and trying to get the Cougars out of this inning. We've seen Tierney quite a bit inside the circle in previous seasons. The Cougar pitching staff has been relatively small. This is the first season that we've seen an extensive pitching staff from the Cougars. and it's been fairly effective for them. So we haven't seen Tierney as much inside the circle this season. We've seen her come to life from behind the bats. She's been an incredible hitter for the Cougars. We've seen her make appearances in the outfield this season as well. So getting her chance to make her way inside the circle here today, especially on senior day, is always a nice thing to see. As you can tell, her number is painted behind the left side of the circle. And that ball is going to be bobbled a bit by Santos, and that's going to allow a base runner on. And we are hearing from coach of the Stars here, but hitting now is going to be Priscilla Rudder. Priscilla Rudder re-entering the game for the Stars. Re-entering here in place of Zubernat. So still 2 outs. Now a runner on first. Tierney delivers this one. That's going to miss low and in and catch that inside corner actually for strike number 1. Tierney trying to get the Cougars out of this inning. She's going to catch Rudder swinging through that one. Last season, we saw Tierney inside the circle quite a bit for the Cougars. 12 2/3 innings pitched on the year. 1 win on the season, but again, a key component in this hitting lineup for the Cougars is that ball is going to be fouled off toward the Cougar dugout. Tierney still chasing her first strikeout of the season. She sits with the 0-2 count over Rudder. As that one misses up and in, the throw is going to get past the Cougar infielders. A great throw from Jess Gang, but Santos and Garcia both not in the right spot to be able to grab that. That is going to allow the stolen base. Gang staying aggressive behind the plate. Struggling to connect with her infield a little bit here as that ball's going to be chopped over to first. Lorena's able to glove it and get the out. Callie Tierney getting the Cougars out of the inning and holding the Stars at scoreless for the first time since the top of the first. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. CUC needs to come up with 2 runs here in the next inning or so to be able to combat the Stars here. Woodhouse still dishing inside the circle for Dominican. We'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 6th, Jess Gang leading things off for the Cougars. CUC trails the Stars by 2. An inning and a half to play here in game number 1. Gang 1 for 2 here in game number 1. She sits with the 1-0 count. This one catches that outside corner, levels the count at 1 apiece. One and one, swung on, that's lifted deep into left field, backtracking, but able to glove it for the out. Ball had a little bit of pop to it, just not enough juice. And that's going to hand things over to McKyler Morris. She's operating here with 1 out. Nobody on base for the Cougars. First pitch misses there for ball number 1 for Morris. This one lifted deep into left center, excuse me. It's going to be bobbled a little bit, but that's going to be an easy base hit for Morris. And that's going to hand things over to Arissa Santos.
Now batting for the Cougars, the shortstop, number 15, Arissa Santos.
One runner on, 1 out. Woodhouse delivers this. Santos shows bunt. That's laid down right along the third base line. The throw is going to be in time over at first, but that is going to move McKyler Morris to second. And hand things over to Alyssa Campos.
Number 1, Alyssa Campos.
This first pitch to Campos misses upstairs for ball 1. Make that a 2-0 count here. And we're going to see a quick conversation here. Randall coming out to have a quick, brief word with her pitcher. Resettle things a little bit as she's behind in the count. She's got a runner over on second, but 2 outs here. Campos sitting with the 2-0 count. Cougars trail by 2. Lots of 2s here. As this pitch catches in there for strike number 1. This one's going to get through into the outfield. Morris is going home. And it's going to be a close call. The throw not in time. McKyler Morris safe at home. Alyssa Campos safe at first. Cougars once again trail by 1. And we are going to see a mound visit here from head coach of the Stars, Christina Lucas. She's coming out, calling her infield together. Head coach of the Cougars, Sarah O'Malley Fisher, she's calling her hitters together with assistant coach Dave Galitko. Assistant coach Bella Archuleta over on first, chatting with Alyssa Campos. And Cougars in a really good position here. They've got 1 runner on, Callie Tierney at the plate, and 2 outs. Tierney chasing her first hit here in game number 1. No better time than now. So after that mound visit, coming back in and getting set here. Woodhouse trying to get the Stars out of this inning. This first pitch in there is going to miss for ball 1. Tierney swinging through that one, levels the count at 1 apiece. 1-1 count here. Woodhouse delivers. That's going to miss outside for ball number 2. The attempt for the throw down from Randall not leaving her hand. Campos diving back into the base, but Tierney, a left-handed hitter, it makes it a little bit difficult for that throw to be possible, just based on natural movements after a swing or a ball. So the 2-2 count here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Number 2 at the plate. Woodhouse gets set here. She delivers. That's going to be put into play. That's going to be a tough ball. It's going to get through. Campos is going to stay at first. Callie Tierney gets her first hit in a clutch moment for the Cougars. A stand-up single that's going to safely advance the runners around. And CUC with the tying run in scoring position. That's going to bring a pinch hitter up for the Cougars in number 13, Melissa Hajik.
Number 13, Melissa Hajik.
Hajik making her first appearance here today. She's batting .269 on the season. She's got 18 hits, 16 RBIs, slugging .358. First pitch for Hajik catches for strike 1. This one misses that outside corner for ball 1, makes this a 1-1 count. Cougars been very efficient with 2 outs, 4 for 7 at the plate. As Hajik sends that one chopping over, able to glove it is Riley Davis for the out. And that's going to leave 2 runners stranded for the Cougars. CUC able to tack 1 on. But we're going to head to the top of the 7th, CUC trailing 4-3 right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the 7th, we've got a couple different lineups here. Now pitching for the Cougars is going to be number 21, Morgan Hofek. Shifting over into left field is Mykyler Morris, and Entering into center field for the first time this season, number 4, Haley Goldsby, sophomore out of Inglewood, Florida. She's struggled with injury throughout the year, so making her first appearance here today in the home finale. Great way for this game to go. And Hofek taking a look at her dishing inside of the circle. She's making her 22nd appearance in the maroon and gold this season. She's got 2 saves under her belt, 35 and 2/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts on the season. She's held her opponents to a .319 batting average. And Campos making her way back over to third base after she no longer pitching for the Cougars. So that's going to bring number 7, Liliana Santoyo, up to the plate for the Stars. She pops the first pitch. She sees right up into the glove of Maya Lorenas. And that's going to put 1 out on the board. Here in the top of the 7th, the Stars have the 1-run advantage. If you're Dominican, you're looking to tack a couple extra on here. Keep that insurance as you head to the bottom of the 7th. Cougars doing everything they can to not let that happen and lock things down, not let the Stars get any further ahead. As this first pitch delivered here to Davis is in there for strike number 1. This ball lifted high in to the infield. Garcia up and underneath it for a quick out. 2 outs on the board here. Nice and early for the Cougars. That's exactly what you're hoping for. And that's going to bring Olmos now to the plate. Operating with 2 outs. The Stars started off the game very efficient, operating with 2 outs. Struggled a little bit in the back half of this game. They're only 3 for 10 at the plate with 2 outs. So really trying to capitalize on that. Here's that first pitch delivered in there for strike number 1. Almost 0 for 2 at the plate here today. She was hit by a pitch in her second at bat. Only time she's been on base. As that pitch misses well up and away for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch from Hofek swung on and missed for strike number 2. Morgan Hofek, 1 pitch away from getting the Cougars out of this inning. As that one misses just inside for ball number 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Morgan Hofek trying to get the Cougars out of this inning. She gets set here. She delivers. Misses for ball 3. Full count here for Olmos. Staying aggressive at the plate here. Hofek stepping off. She's going to resettle here. This ball is going to be fouled off toward the Dominican dugout. Head coach of the Stars getting out of the way. An assistant coach for the Stars jumping out of the way, but still catching her leg on that one. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cougars trail by 1, trying to make sure this lead doesn't get any further out of control. A grounder over to Garcia. She's able to get it, and the Cougars are heading to the bottom of the 7th, trailing by 1. Morgan Hofek doing her job inside the circle. Cougar fielders backing her up, and we're going to head. Everything's coming down to the bottom of the 7th. CUC trailing 4-3 right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 7th, CUC trails by 1. Ashley Schroll at the plate for the Cougars, trying to make game 1 a happy one here in River Forest. Woodhouse is still dishing inside the circle for the Stars. She's looking to close things out, but a hit from Ashley Schroll makes its way into the outfield, and the Cougars start things off right. Ashley Schroll getting on base early. Schroll represents the game-tying run, now planted over at first. Schroll's second hit of the day, coming up clutch when necessary, and that's going to hand things over to the top of the order in Emily Garcia. Garcia shows bunt, pulls back for a good reason. That ball was well upstairs for ball 1. Schroll jumping at the opportunity, trying to make sure she can make her way around the bases as quick as possible. The 1-0 pitch here, bunt laid down. Woodhouse scooping it up, gonna get the throw over at first, but that is going to move Schroll over to second. So the sack bunt from Garcia does its job. And with 1 out, Maya Lorraine is now at the plate. First pitch to Lorenas misses for ball 1. Lorenas 0 for 3 here in game number 1. She's chasing her first hit. As that ball catches that outside corner for strike 1, makes this a 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out kind of count. That ball fouled, popped up, but Randall unable to find it in the air. So new life here for Lorraine as she sits with the 1-2 count. Bright blue skies in River Forest, sun shining, wind blowing straight out. Woodhouse delivers. That's going to be put into play. A slow roller over to Santoyo. She's able to glove it, but Lorenas is able to get there in time. Schroll's going to hold that second, and a big time base running opportunity here for the Cougars. Potentially seeing a pinch runner coming in here. Jess Gang at the plate for the Cougars. Gang is 1 for 3 on the day. Runners now on first and second. Head coach of the Cougars, Sarah O'Malley-Fisher, coming out and having a discussion with the umpire, potentially seeing a pinch runner here, and it does appear that way. We're going to have number 27, Julia Pataluna, now coming in to run in place of Lorenas. Pataluna, a sophomore from Commerce City, Colorado. Cougars looking for a bit of speed on the base paths. You've got Schroll and now Pataluna. 1 out, and Jess Gang at the plate here. First pitch to Gang misses upstairs for ball 1. One 0 count here for Gang. Turns 2-0. Three consecutive balls here for Jess Gang. Unfamiliar territory here for Woodhouse. She's only got 1 walk on the day, now delivering 3 balls here. And that's going to be a 4-ball walk for Gang that's going to load the bases up for McKyler Morris. The game-tying run is 60 feet from home, and the Stars are going to gather in the circle to regroup. Morris in a favorable spot. She's 2 for 3 at the plate here today. A base hit or a sac fly will allow the game-tying run to score. Smart base running will be necessary for the Cougars. avoiding any double plays here in this situation that might prevent that game-tying run to score. A long conversation here between Randall and Woodhouse. The rest of the infield has returned to their positions. Randall and Woodhouse taking a couple extra minutes to discuss things here before returning back to their posts. And Mykyler Morris now sits with bases loaded, 1 out. Game-tying run 60 feet from home. First pitch catches that inside corner for Morris, makes this an 0-1 count. Second pitch delivered upstairs makes this a 1-1 count. One ball, one strike, one out. This turns 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Woodhouse gets set here. She delivers this one upstairs for ball 3. If you are Emma Woodhouse, you are doing everything you can not to walk Morris. Walking Morris will provide the game-tying run for free for the Cougars. CUC with a lot of momentum right now. Woodhouse trying not to let that happen as that's going to be fouled off the netting. That's going to make it a full count now. Woodhouse working her way back into this. Three-two count here for Morris. Woodhouse gets set. She delivers. Ball 4. Game-tying run crossing home plate. Ashley Stroll. And we are going to see a pitching change here for the Stars. CUC ties things up 4 apiece. The go-ahead run now 60 feet from home plate in Julia Pataluna. Cougars have bases loaded and only 1 out. And head coach of the Stars, Christina Lucas, running out onto the field, calling for her outfield, potentially looking like a pitching change. We're seeing her gesture in a lot of different areas, but Woodhouse still holding on to the ball. It does appear as though Woodhouse will remain inside the circle. And the Cougars returning to their bases. Bases loaded. Arissa Santos at the plate. Emma Woodhouse going to close this out for the Stars. Arissa Santos 1 for 1 at the plate today. She was walked in her first at-bat. She picked up a single in her second, and she grounded out in her third at-bat. So Arissa Santos, she just needs a base hit to score 1 run. First pitch delivered inside for ball number 1. One 0 count here. That's going to be fouled off, make it a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Woodhouse gets set here. She delivers upstairs for ball number 2. Woodhouse walking Morris provided the game-tying run. At this point, the biggest concern is not walking Santos here and providing the game-winning run for free. Instead, she pitches that one in there for strike number 2. That's going to make it a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, a 1 out here. Woodhouse delivers. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike number 3. Arissa Santos goes down swinging, and that's going to put Alyssa Campos now at the plate for the Cougars.
Now batting for the Cougars, number 1, Alyssa Campos.
Bases still loaded, now 2 outs. First pitch to Campos, delivered upstairs for ball number 1. CUC here today, 4 for 8 at the plate with 2 outs. We've seen them be efficient. Bases loaded. The game-winning run 60 feet from home plate as that misses upstairs for ball number 2. Woodhouse delivers this one in the dirt for ball 3. A 3-0 count here in favor of Campos. Woodhouse doing everything she can to not dish another ball. One more ball will provide the game-winning run for free. Woodhouse delivers, and that's going to catch the zone for strike number 1. Campos a little bit confident that that was in there for ball 4. Woodhouse keeping her team alive here. This one connected on. It's lifted deep in the outfield, and the game-winning run will score. It's a walk-off for Alyssa Campos. The Cougars do it. They win 5-4. CUC picking up a big-time victory here in game number 1. They trailed the majority of the game, and in the walk-off fashion, they're able to secure the 5-4 victory. Alyssa Campos getting it done. Oh my goodness, Alyssa Campos! CUC picking up a big-time Game 1 victory right here on Senior Day. The Stars shut down in River Forest. Game 1 of the Division Street rivalry going to the Cougars. But Game 2 will be coming up shortly right here on the Cougar Sports Network. But before we sign off here on game number 1, taking a look at some final stat lines. Dominican, 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. CUC, 5 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors. Looking at the pitching for the Stars, Emma Woodhouse dealing all 7 innings for the Stars. She's a very effective pitcher for Dominican, just couldn't quite get it done here in game number 1. She gave up 11 hits, 5 runs, but she picked up 4 strikeouts in the process. She threw an impressive 120 pitches in her 33 batters faced. Looking at the Cougars, 4 arms were used today in Eden Pufall, Callie Tierney, Alyssa Campos, and Morgan Hofek. Hofek pitching in the most recent inning, picking up that win here for the Cougars. A big-time Game 1 victory over the Stars. Before we sign off here, I want to give a huge shout-out to everybody that made today's production possible. Operating stats for us and music in the arena. Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Corey Welch, operating our scoreboard and doing PA here for us on Senior Day is Eric Perry. And our 2 producers here today, responsible for making everything as fabulous as it looks, is our graduate assistant for athletic communications in Sydney Lloyd and Abby Cooligan. I'm Kayla McLeod, excited to have been on the call with you here for game number 1, but we'll have game 2 action coming up here in just about 30 minutes right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.